Hi, I'm Kim at Optimal Relations. We are a startup based in Sweden, and our mission is to make it effortless to create and update software architecture diagrams that are useful to everyone on the team. I have a long background in software design, and I know the struggle. You join a project and wish you had documentation of the design. Usually, you find one or two things: someone trying to explain to you with sketches. Easy to create, yes, but these are probably only obvious to the creator. Or a complex diagram that someone has put a lot of effort into creating, sadly outdated the minute it was finally finished. And this is the kind of documentation most software teams work with. The result is team misunderstandings and uncertainty, which lead to costlier work and quick fixes. That forces us to rush just to deliver to our customers, and that creates technical debt and impacts quality. And we have all been there. We have less time than ever for good documentation. And for software teams to succeed, good communication is critical, and clear diagrams are the perfect way to express complex designs and abstract ideas. So, how do you achieve those clear diagrams? Should you introduce extensive frameworks, templates, and guidelines and spend hours maintaining them? It's obvious why we keep resorting to those messy whiteboard sketches. No one has the time to manage a method, draw the diagrams, and keep them updated as design changes. And that's why we built Remodel, to make clear diagrams easy. And you run Remodel in your web browser. And you start with an empty model. I can run this in full screen mode. Let's load an example. And here is also good to mention that all of the contents are saved or kept at the client side at your disk. Nothing is saved into the cloud. Here we have an example of an internet banking system that allows customers to view bank accounts and make payments. And to ensure our diagrams are useful to both technical and non-technical audiences, we have integrated the C4 model directly into the tool. And the C4 model is essentially just two things: a hierarchical set of common abstractions and four standardized diagram types. And here we have the first level, the system context diagram, showing how users and other system is related to our system, and how persons are interacting with your system and depends on other. And if we zoom into the system, into the container diagram, we see the runnable instances your system consists of. These can be applications, mobile apps, microservices, databases, and so on. Self-contained instances you run on computers, servers in the cloud, or microcontroller units for embedded systems. And here we also see the decisions of technologies in of our architecture. So let's have a look inside the backend of the internet bank. And here we see the software components of the backend and how the backend is designed. And I'm thinking that the task for today is to add a feature for customers to reset the password. So let's add a controller. And we would like to add an external system as an email provider to send emails to the user when they have reset the password. And we would like to add another software component to manage the emails. And let's add some relationships to something like that. And create a reset token. And we would like Sending emails. Yeah. Do we miss something here now? Perhaps we would like to reset the password as well in the database. Right. So now we have finished the design at the backend for this new feature. And now let's go back to the container diagram for the system to also show these dependencies. We have the email provider here that we use this here. Sends emails using this one. Sends emails to perhaps. And then at the highest level to show the dependencies here that we send emails to the customers. And now we decide to use Amazon as an email provider. So let's change this. And then also add some more descriptions about this email provider. And now if we go to the container diagram again, we see it has been updated as well. And also in the backend where we use that external system. So now we have completed the design of this new feature to reset passwords, and we save this to disk. And now let's have a look how this model is saved to your disk. And here we can see the YAML files of your model in a human readable format. Easy to see the contents of all the, like here we have the person for the banking customer or the external system of the core banking system. And here we have the system itself, system context and system context diagram. And we can also see the changes we made. We added the external system of the Amazon email provider. And here we have the changes of the system context diagram. We added the email provider and the relationships, sends emails to the banking customers from the Amazon email provider, and so on. And in the container diagram, we also see the changes that we added the external system and the relationships as well. And the component diagram for the backend. We added the email adapter and the reset password controller and the external system as well. So with the model in a version controlled format in these YAML files, you can then validate and align changes between source code and diagrams. To recap what we have seen, so in Remodel we have combined and implemented an intuitive and simple user interface with smooth workflows and a built-in compliance of the C4 model framework by Simon Brown to enforce this framework structure and best practices, and diagrams saved in a human readable version control format. And this is an optimal combination of a method and tool to make it easy to create and maintain documentation of your software systems with architecture diagrams. If this sounds interesting to you, please let us know and you can try it out yourself.